So a couple of weeks ago, I made the Soul Reaper Fatigue video where I talked about the severe lack of a Ron card in this game, and since then, counting today's trailer, obviously we've gotten 2 more. And I wanted to do a live reaction to this trailer because, for one, I've been waiting for Halibel since like the game was announced. Halibel and Stark are some characters that I couldn't wait to see. And it sucks that we had to wait so long until we could finally see him, but we're here. So I'm going to do a live reaction to this. Definitely going to do a live reaction to Stark's trailer whenever that drops. But I also, in this video, wanted to give one final roster prediction. Because a lot of things have changed since the last video I made in regards to the roster. And a lot more information has been presented. And a lot of details have kind of changed since then. So yeah, we're going to react to this and do one more rosters prediction. I'm not going to do another rosters prediction. What happens, happens from here on out. We can at least expect 4 more character trailers after today. So whatever happens, happens. But without further ado, let's get into it. It's about time, man. It's about time. I've waited so long just for an Iran card.
I'll hunt you down. Time for a purge.
Oh, wait a minute. Are they going with the anime design? The censored version? That's interesting because they go with the uncensored version for everyone else. Unless I'm just misremembering.
Too slow. I won't hold back. Sing.
Okay.
With this power, I'll end it here. Hunt. Tiburon.
Interesting. Alright, she looks cool. Tedessa Spada, whose goal is to have a world without sacrifices. She becomes stronger the more she attacks enemies in a combo. Okay, wait. That sounds like my kind of character.
Time for a purge.
I love rushdowns. I just love doing combos. Accumulation when Halibel's attack lands on the opponent. When the gauge accumulates over 50%, the attack power increases and the performance of each move will be enhanced. The gauge will gradually decrease when an attack doesn't land for a certain time. Okay, so yeah, she definitely wants to be comboing as much as possible, which means she's probably going to suck against any zoning character. So, like, if you're playing 𝐤𝐤𝐬𝐞, or I'm going to guess Stark, because Stark might be a zoner, at least in his awakening, and 𝐸, like, characters that can keep you away or just keep you at any sort of distance are going to be really annoying to deal with. A long-range attack that charges the spiritual pressure to the blade and then fires. The damage is not great, but it is useful to accumulate aura gauge and to keep foes at bay from a distance. So, you wouldn't use this for damage, you would just use this to get your gauge up. Bet. Makes sense. A triple strike combo move that executes a large rising slash. The aura gauge can be greatly accumulated if it lands, but can be guarded, so you must be careful when to activate. Alright, makes sense. Another thing. So she's all about getting that gauge up and doing combos. So I'm going to guess that you can combo into this move pretty efficiently. Like, everything she's going to do is just going to be to get that gauge up. And the way you would want to stop that is just by keeping your distance or landing combos on her before she can land them on you. Which, yeah, that goes without saying, makes sense. But you know what? She looks cool. She looks like the archetype is definitely my type of character. Like, I'm always playing characters that I have to be upfront and attacking with, so I'm liking her so far. Halibel's performance is enhanced by releasing Tiburon with Resurrection. By increasing attack performance, it will be easier to push through the opponent. Also, Halibel's weapon will change from a dagger to a longsword, and the reach will extend, making the option extend to mid-range. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That's another thing that I really wanted to see. I wanted to see how Halibel and Stark's awakenings contrast with their, default moveset, because in Halibel's case here, she goes from a short-range dagger to a mid-range longsword, and in Stark's case, it would be a katana to a gun, a completely different weapon altogether. In Halibel's case, it doesn't look like it's going to change much, because either way, you're going to want to be up close, right? Like, you have more mid-ranged options now in Awakening, I presume, but at the end of the day, you want to still be as close as possible so you can do as many combos to keep your gauge up, right? So it doesn't really seem like it's going to change much of her game plan. Like the strategy you would have pre-awakening will be the same strategy you have post-awakening, I would guess. Could be wrong, but that's what it seems like to me. Characterized by overwhelming, unrelenting attacks that will leave the opponent no time to rest. Yeah, I like her. I like her a lot. It is crazy to me that they went with decensored Sui Fawn, but censored Halibel. I mean, I get it. Halibel's design is a little crazy. I understand. I'm not complaining because at the end of the day, she looks like a dope character and I will be playing her regardless. Yeah, you know, there's a lot of characters I want to play, but I digress. Let's talk about roster predictions, right? All right, I won't drag this out too long. A lot of this goes without saying. I expect Stark. Baragon and Stark are the two that a lot of people expect in the roster. I still am of the belief that Baragon could be a boss-only character since, again, we are aware that there will be boss-only characters in this game. I feel like Baragon fits that because I just don't see them making a good moveset around him. Well, I shouldn't say a good moveset, but I feel like the way he fights would be too complicated for this structure of the game. They could make it work. I'm not saying it's impossible. I just don't see it happening. But I feel like he would be a lot easier to just design as a boss, so I have him in boss tier. Stark, Yumachika, and Momo. These are funny, right? I would never have put Yumachika and Momo this high in my roster predictions, but considering the way this game is going, the way we have so many Soul Reapers, ones that really don't need to be on the roster. I got a lot of slack in my Soul Reaper fatigue video for saying 𝐒𝐴ZRU and 𝐸𝐼𝐳 don't need to be on the roster. I stand by that regardless of what that comment section said. Look, I understand that they're good characters. I understand that they are important characters, like they've mattered to the story. I never denied that. But this is a fighting game, or an arena fighter, action fighting game, whatever the terms may be. This is about characters who have been in relevant combat throughout the story. And despite that, we do have characters on this roster who haven't been in that monumental fights. I mean, hell, look, as much as I want Arrancar in this game, I would be the first to say that 𝐥𝐼𝐴ZRU is such a strange pick because he's another character I wouldn't have put high on the roster predictions. Like, as a matter of fact, if you go back to both of my roster predictions videos, 𝐥𝐼𝐴ZRU was in the top of neither of those lists. I would have never suspected him because of the way his fight is structured. But they made it work. They gave him a whole moveset and he's a playable Espada in the game. Despite the fact that if we're only getting 4 more characters bare minimum, we are definitely not getting all of the Espada. And so of the Espada, I still would not have expected 𝐥𝐼𝐴ZRU. I actually would have expected 𝐼𝐼𝐴ZRU before 𝐥𝐼𝐼𝐴ZRU because of Rukia being in the game. But no, 𝐼𝐼𝐴ZRU looks like he's going to be the one that's not on the roster, but 𝐥𝐼𝐼𝐴ZRU is? Strange picks. Strange picks. And it's because of those strange picks that now I'm starting to lean towards the idea that characters like Yumachika and Momo actually could be in the game. Now, Momo is one of the more obvious cases because of what happened in Soul Society, but also the fact that she already has a character model in this game. And I know having a character model doesn't mean that you're playable, but I feel like it's actually likely now considering characters like 𝐒𝐴ZRU and Rangiku are playable. Like, if you can justify 𝐒𝐴ZRU being on a roster for his minimal amount of importance within the Soul Society arc, you could reasonably make Momo playable as well, right? Same thing, you know, when you compare Momo's importance to Rangiku, for instance. So, when it's all said and done, it's because of characters like 𝐒𝐴ZRU, Rangiku, Shuhei, because characters like that are in the game, I can see both Momo and Yumachika being in the game now. And then the last tier, I don't know. Zangetsu, we actually just got some gameplay of Zangetsu, and it was interesting because for the most part, he does have his own Keycone move. He has his own animations and stuff, but it seems like he's just an outfit swap for Ichigo at the same time, which is very interesting. Like, because while he does have his own unique animations, his overall moveset wasn't different enough that I think would warrant being its own separate character slot. I feel like Zangetsu at this point is just an outfit for Ichigo. I don't think he'll be his own playable character, which he was one of the ones on both my previous roster predictions who I did think would be a playable character. And granted, he is still playable to a degree, but he's not his own character slot, which I'm fine with that. I think that's actually, I feel like that's good. That's a good idea. That's a good decision. And last but not least, 𝐼𝐼𝐴ZRU, who has been shown off in virtually every trailer for the game thus far, aside from the individual character trailers. All the special trailers, she's been in like every single one of them, and yet she has not had a character trailer as of yet. So that leaves me to believe she isn't playable. She's just a character model that's in the game for cutscenes, but she's not actually on the roster. At this point, yeah, no, I don't think 𝐼𝐸𝐳 is playable at all. I think she's just a model in the game, which is another one that, like, I'm kind of fine with now. Like, I don't think she needed to be playable. I thought it would have made sense for her to be. She is playable in a lot of other Bleach fighting games, but doesn't look like it. And honestly, I'm fine with that. But I guess the question now is, if I don't think 𝐼𝐸𝐳 and 𝐤𝑠𝑠 are their own playable characters, and if I don't think Baragon is going to be playable, then who would the fourth be if Stark, Yumachika, and Momo are my top 3 guesses? And to be frank, I'm still kind of not sure, because we know 𝐷𝐞𝐥𝐬𝐞𝐈𝐳 has to be in this if we're going up to the defeat of Aizen, but Monster Aizen is a character that could be his own boss. I did say that I think the last characters revealed would be Monster Aizen and 𝐷𝐞𝐥𝐬𝐞𝐈𝐳 could be a boss, much like Baragon, but I feel like 𝐷𝐞𝐥𝐬𝐞𝐈𝐳, if any of them, would be the final character on the roster, which does mean we're getting 4 if you count 𝐤𝑠𝑠, 3 Ichigos. And as much as that would suck considering how little Arrancar we have in this game, it's also to be expected. You know, anime arena fighters, games like this do this all the time. You know, like, there's multiple Gokus in a Dragon Ball game, there's multiple Narutos in a Naruto game, multiple Luffys, etc, etc. This is to be expected. I'm not surprised. It's not the end of the world. So if I had to say, Stark, Yumachika, Momo, 𝐷𝐞𝐥𝐬𝐞𝐈𝐳 are the characters I expect next. And honestly, we could switch out Yumachika for Baragon for a hype factor, because at this point, Yumachika should have been revealed after Ikkaku if that's what we were doing, right? So Baragon might be next week. We might get Baragon next week, Stark after that, but then that would still leave Momo to be the character before 𝐷𝐞𝐥𝐬𝐞𝐈𝐳. I don't know, man. It's weird. The character reveal orders have been so strange. But you know what? It is what it is. I'm not making any more roster predictions. This is the last one, but I will be doing a live reaction to Stark's trailer once that eventually comes out, because he's the character I wanted to see the most, and they've been edging me. I need to see Stark already, man. I need to know that he's going to be in this game. I can't sleep right until I know Stark is in this game as a playable character. But anywho, that does it for this video. I'm done talking now. Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Like and subscribe for more Bleach content, and yeah, I'll catch you guys whenever.